find him in the zone on the stretch play, and then a great finish by Schenner there, finish that game off, no question.
We've asked you so much about him just when he was going through that drought. I mean, is the confidence just there with it for him now, offensively, because of the things he was doing away from the puck before?
Yeah, you'd like to think so. Obviously, we were, myself and the rest of the staff were not only harping on individual players, but the team as a whole, that we had to become better defensively and had better habits. And with that, hopefully the offense would come. And the guys started to buy into that, and now we're seeing that we're getting contributions through the lineup offensively now, and not having to rely on 2 or 3 guys. Guys are starting to get more opportunities, more looks at the net, and then obviously the puck's going in the net for them.
After you had the first 10 minutes or so, what kind of changed in your guys' game?
Yeah, I mean, we had a tough first 10 minutes. There's no question about that, but it's a tough trip, right? Like we go out and play 3 games in 4 nights, and then with the time change, travel back yesterday, and then have an afternoon game. I don't know what the odds are of teams coming from the West Coast to win hockey games, but we were able to keep it close, and then we seemed to find our legs in the second part of the first period and parts of the second. We certainly made some mental mistakes, and that's going to happen in a game like that. But I just thought we showed a lot of, I don't know what you want to call it, but we dug in. Like we could have just kind of gone away when they scored the 2 shorthanded goals and said, we'll save it for later. But guys found a way. They score a shorthanded goal. Our power play comes back quick and is able to score, and then we score shortly after that, and they're able to score again. And I thought the effort in the third period was there. We did a lot of good things, and then we get rewarded in overtime. But it's a tough game for our guys to play. And it's a desperate hockey team over there in LA, and that's an important 2 points for us. It's a big game for us, a real big game. And for us to dig in and find a way to get the extra points is important.
Along those lines of digging in, I think in the winning streak now it's up to like 6 times you've raised the deficit. Is that something that you're teaching, preaching, or is that something that you're just coming up with?
Well, I think it is a belief, but we're putting ourselves in a position that we're not out of games. Like we're always in games, I find, right now. And I think that's a belief where we get ourselves into games that we get into the third period, whether we're tied ahead or down by 1, that we have an opportunity to come out of this with a win or points at least. And we have players that are just the things that we can control. We're starting to meet the standards on that, I think, and I think that's been whether it's a mindset with our group. We're starting to see results with that, and I think with the results then becomes confidence and belief within the core group and the team.
What's Scott doing?
I don't have an answer for that.
A couple weeks ago, you mentioned that there was going to be any breathing room for the rest of the year. Has the urgency of trying to fight for that wildcard spot carried you guys throughout this winning streak?
Yeah, I mean, the urgency, of finding ways to win hockey games, I think, just goes in hand with where we're at, and not necessarily, being in a wild card spot or a playoff spot. I think a lot of it has to do with who we're playing and the teams we played that are good, and I mean, the games that were. And they're all meaningful games at this point of the season and where we're at. But, the game against Calgary, the game against Seattle, and then again today, like those are 3 teams that we're fighting for position in, and we're able to come up with, basically they're 4-point games because they're big swings in the standings. And, we've made up some ground. We put ourselves in a good position here. We still have a game left. So, we have a lot of work to do, but, we'll get through Tuesday, keep building on what we've done here over the last couple weeks, and put ourselves in a position going into the break where, one, we can get some rest, two, we can get a little healthy. We got some guys that are obviously banged up a little bit,